Hey there, everybody. It is Sandy the Sandman Robinson bringing you some information live on Full Metal Trivia. And I am not here alone. We've got some big news to announce today, but I am here with the showrunner for the Teams League. It is Jay, the Arsonist Burns. Hey, Jay.
What's going on, buddy?
Not much. I am happy that you and I are doing this together so we can get this team's tournament announced and get people started into some matches.
Hell yeah. We got 8 people watching us right now. Shout outs to them. They are apparently 4 teams just waiting to see who they're going to play.
There you go. That's exactly what it is. All right. So let's get right into it, guys. Jay, if you're going to monitor, are you going to monitor the chat to see if there's any questions or anything in there? That's right.
Yeah, Lionel Richie.
Ooh.
I will be monitoring the chat just in case.
Awesome.
Questions.
Perfect. So, last year we had a bit of a tough year. We had some exits. We had some issues that had come up, and we really focused on the singles last year. And even then, it was a little bit chaotic towards the end. Hence, why Snowball was out so late. All my fault, by the way. And we wanted to do something really special this year, and that was have a really gigantic teams tournament to get the teams back involved and do that. So we made a list. You guys saw the post that we made get you guys on there who wants to join in the team, and we had a bunch of people respond. Unfortunately, 2 teams could not make it into the finals, into the final round robin that we have here set up that we're going to let you guys know about in just a minute. But essentially what we've done is we've gone through to get as many teams as possible, and we have 28 teams that are going to be playing this year. And the only way we could do it bracket style, so we could set up a bracket and have you guys all play along, is by having the number 1 teams from each of the 4 brackets get a bye into the first off the first round. So they would go into the second round and then face it in there. So that's exactly what we have. We have an up and a down bracket on each side. Jay, you and I have gone over the list of teams. It's pretty impressive, just the sheer amount of talent that we've got showing up.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that we've seen. We've got some very established teams in here. We've got teams that we've seen before and teams that we haven't seen before, but we've seen people involved in those teams and know that they're deadly by themselves. Now we're just going to try to figure out and we're going to get to see whether or not they are actually able to hold their own with a team partner and see if strategy has anything to do with their ability to continue to win.
That's an excellent point, Jay. There's lots of people we haven't seen. There's lots of people in the thing that we have not had a really good understanding of what they bring to the table. But that is exactly what we're looking for. So I want to state this right now for the people that are on the chat. Thank you so much for watching. Spoiler alert. If you do not want to be spoiled for the team's title match that just went up today, then get out of here right now, because we're going to get into it and we're going to go down each bracket and discuss the matchups. All right, you've been warned.
Even if you don't care about spoilers, I would suggest you go and watch that. It is a hell of a match.
Whale of a match. That match was probably one of the best I've ever seen, like hands down. So, but yeah, it is going to give you a spoiler onto who walked away with the team championships. But before we jump into that, I also want to just give a little bit of acknowledgement to the singles league. We are definitely not going to stop with just teams this year. We are going to be doing singles matches as well. So later on this week, I'm going to put a post into the Facebook. If you've won or done really well, and when I mean really well, like down to the absolute wire in Full Metal Classic, sign up on that post and we will get a list together and we will start making matches. There won't be any tournament, but we do have a vacant Full Metal Trivia singles championship belt that is lying down around the floor somewhere. Nobody's got it. Jeremy took it off and threw it down on the table and walked away. No, Jeremy is, as everybody's known, has retired. So we do have a vacant singles title, and we are coming up right now with a way to make sure that that is not the case in a couple of months. So we're going to have a champion in the next couple of months, and then we're going to have a title defense in another couple of months, and then another title defense come Snowball. Snowball 4, guys. But let's get into the teams and their brackets. Jay, do we want to go through the 4 buys, or do we want to just take it bracket by bracket?
You know what? I think we should just go bracket by bracket, break it down, see, let everybody know that, yes, this is bracket A, this is bracket B, and then,
Sure.
By week 1, teams playing, and then,
yeah,
that's just me though.
No, that's a great, that's as good a place as anywhere to start. So why don't we start with the first bracket that I have up on my little piece of virtual paper? And that's with the number 1 seed in that bracket is the Red Herrings. The Red Herrings are, of course, Michael Campbell and Caleb Boatman. They are going to get a bye directly into round number 2. Jay, who's our first matchup in that bracket?
Oh, you didn't send me the updated list.
That's awesome. All right. No, yeah. That's on me. Okay, so I'll just start rattling off these matchups and we'll talk about it as we get down to it. Okay, so the number 2 seed in this first bracket is Team Light It Up. That's Dustin Mason and Dominic Rizzi. They are going to be facing in their first round matchup against Mirror Image, who we have not seen in the Full Metal Trivia Teams League in some time, but they're going to make their triumphant return, hopefully, or just a great return. And that's the Wood brothers.
Andy and Michael, right?
Andy and Michael, yeah. So when they played their matches, I believe they've had 2 in Full Metal. And I think that they're 1-1. They might just be 1-0. I'm not quite sure. I don't think they have a loss. But because we hadn't seen them in a little while, we wanted to make sure that they were still up to snuff, which I believe they probably are. But they're going to be facing Team Light It Up in the first round. Jay, what do you think of that matchup and prediction?
Look, I've watched Mirror Image in multiplex and different leagues. It's weird because they're kind of the same person.
Yeah.
So like they have this, Tomac Zaymot little, I can talk to my brother without actually having to talk to my brother thing going on. That might be difficult. That might be difficult for Light It Up to get over, but Light It Up, since they played Concept, have become a phenomenal team. Dino, Dom, and Dustin are studying. I love the hell out of both of them. And their just base knowledge was amazing, but the fact that they're actually like getting into studying and trying to figure out strategy is going to make them a more dangerous team moving forward. I think Light It Up has the momentum right now, but if there was a first round team to kind of derail that a little bit, it might be Mirror Image. But personally, I would say Light It Up's probably got this one.
I tend to agree. I mean, Light It Up has had their ups and downs in Full Metal. Sometimes they get a little bit too streamlined. They're just no, Caleb. Wait. No, that's a good question, Caleb, but I will get down to it right after that. You'll understand the brackets in a little bit. But as far as Team Light It Up goes, if they can slow down and they can just take a breath, use their time, and come up with the right answers, I think that they'll be fine. But that being said, yeah, Andy and Michael, you're right. They got that ESP thing between each other going on. And even though we haven't seen them a lot, they're still there. So it's going to be a good fight, but I'm going to light it up on this one. Okay, so the next matchup is the number 3 ranked team. And Jay, I'm not sure if you know these people, but it would be the team Necronomicon. And that would,
those guys.
Who's on that team? And that is, of course,
that's myself and Mark Aiden Kamaya.
That's right, exactly. And you guys will be going up against the 6th ranked team, and that team is the Dream Warriors, and that is Damian Walker and Andrew Hayes. We have not seen the Dream Warriors compete. This is a brand new team. We know who they are. We know who Andrew Hayes, obviously been a part of Ranger Dudes with RJ. And this is Damian Walker's first foray into teams. He's done really well, I believe, in Classic when he's played. So yeah, here's the deal, guys. The game has changed significantly. Jay mentioned it earlier. Teams and factions are practicing with one another. Friends are, getting together and having these massive practice sessions. Everybody in these leagues is getting better and better and better because they're taking it more seriously. It's not just it is a fun game, but there's a level of competition now that people are like, you know what? We're not just going to rely on what we know. We're going to have to know more because some of these teams, and one of those teams is Necronomicon. You guys have put the work in. You guys have been, looking down the barrel at people and just taking them out. And I think that that's a really good place for you guys to be, especially against an untested team that doesn't know what they can do together. But that being said, you don't know what they're good at. You don't know what they're not good at. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge that way, but I'm going to give it to Necronomicon.
I know a little bit of what they're good in, and I'm gonna take a context clue based off of the name that they've chosen and say horror. Maybe specifically one Fredward Krueger might be a specialty of theirs. No, I said it when in our post-match interview against Light It Up, and I might have seemed a little down about it, but I was more beating myself up about it than anything. Necronomicon is that team that is consistently playing championship caliber teams. We have, one of our records is 1-3, and it's unfortunate, but if you look at who we lost to Colt Classic, one of the best teams in the league. We lost to Wild Stallions, a team championship, and we lost to Light It Up, a championship caliber team. All 3 of these teams, one of them has the chance to retain championship belts. One of them is making a fantastic run for the belts, and Colt Classic is legitimately that one team that everybody's kind of saying they were kind of hot when they started, but they don't know how hard they've been training and how hard they're hitting the books and coming back. This one's a toss-up because it depends on the wheel. It depends on the day. I will just say bias and recuse myself from making a statement on who will win, just in an honor of fairness.
Listen, I'll tell you this: in the honor of fairness, when somebody goes into when an elected official goes into vote, do you think they're voting for the next dude? No, they're voting for themselves. So you're calling Necronomicon. That's right. But no, that's it's a great point, and as somebody who was part of a team that was constantly in number 1 contenders or championship matches every single time they played, it's a ton of stress, man. It's a ton of stress, and it's a ton of preparation every single time you have to do it. So, does Necronomicon have, some burnout? Do the Dream Warriors shock and awe? I don't know. I'm still picking Necronomicon. All right, let's go to our last match in the bracket, and that is between the Real Deals, and that is, let me just find my little paper here. That is Steve B and Dan Skip Allen. And they will be facing, oh God. They are facing, and this, yes, is a team name, folks, Butterflies and Hurricanes. And that is our friends from the Movie Trivia Face Off. It's Jimmy and Jimmy D. Is that
Jimmy Derry? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And Scott Harvey have teamed up to form Butterflies and Hurricanes. Now, listen, we've seen these guys. We've seen Jimmy and we've seen Scott play over in Movie Trivia Face Off. They've done okay, but this is going to be their first time playing. Has either one of them played in Classic yet?
Jimmy played in last season's Classic. He played when we did the Movie Trivia Face Off Classic, and has been with Cameron a couple of times. Scott Harvey has. Scott Harvey's got a little, he's got a decent well of knowledge. Plus, he did pretty well in feature presentations, Enchantment Under the Sea for All that happened this last weekend.
Absolutely.
If nothing, that'll at least be an entertaining and hard to understand match.
There's no question about that. Listen, the Real Deals, everybody knows Dan. Dan is immersed in movies. He goes and sees a ton of movies all the time. He wouldn't have picked a team partner in Steve if he didn't know that Steve was, a good player and could hold his own in this one. But they're also a brand new team. So we've got two brand new teams facing. That's right, Caleb, the breakfast sandwich guy. So I'm so happy Caleb's in here making me laugh. It's awesome. But yeah, so we've got two new teams playing. You know what? It's not fair at this point to make a prediction on these two because we've never seen them. So as far as I'm concerned, they're the 4 or 5 teams. It's going to be a toss up either way. But let's see who happens. All right. So Caleb,
I can't talk on that one. I've never heard of Steve B.
Yeah, Steve B.
I'm afraid that Steve Bannon's gonna pop on screen and everybody's just gonna die of fright. It's null and void.
That's true.
And Dan knows his stuff.
Yeah.
And Scott knows his stuff, and Jimmy's just entertaining and hard to understand. So
especially when you get them all riled up. Okay, so Caleb, back to your question. So in order to know who you're going to play,
just bringing it up for the group.
Yeah,
for the group watching.
So you guys would get the bye in round 2, and you would play the lowest ranked remaining team out of those 4 or those 3 other matchups. So once, let's say we go light it up, let's say we go right down the wall for the top 4 teams. Red Herrings, light it up, Necronomicon, and the Real Deals win and move on into round number 2. You would be facing Red Herrings, would be facing the Real Deals, and Light It Up would be against Necronomicon. That's how the bracket would go. And then if you made it through there, you would face if you made it through Red Herrings, then you would face the lowest, the only team left in that thing. And then you would move to the championship part of your bracket. So I hope that clarifies things for you. Okay.
Clarify things for me.
Perfect. Okay, so we're going to move
in about it for a second.
We're going to move into the second bracket, the bottom half of this left side of the bracket. Okay, so originally, based on record and based on the record period, Team 80s was in this spot. But with the retirement of Jeremy the Atom Adams and Team 80s retiring, we had to put somebody else in here, and it was the very next team in the rankings. And that team that is getting the bye in this side is our friends Blockbuster Video, back at it again, getting into, you know, another tournament. They were always going to be in it, but they just got moved up based on rank, and they will be getting the bye in the first round of this one. So Caleb, once again,
I don't know who Jesse Owens is.
So
I'm kidding.
I know you are. That's right. So if everything goes the way rankings should, which never happens, and Blockbuster Video gets to the end of their bracket, there it is, and Blockbuster gets to the end of their bracket, and you guys get to the end of your bracket, you will be facing. That's right. Tina Zarder knows it. All right, so let's get into the fun part, and that's the next 3 matches in this bracket. So the number 2 ranked team, based on their performance in the tournament, is Cult Classics, and that's Andrew James Barr and
Ethan
Beller. Sorry. Duh.
You're good.
And they are going to be facing the number 7 ranked team, and that is Cruise Control, and that's Riley Hughes and Noah Nordquist. I don't know a lot about either one of these people. I assume that they've played in Classic.
I deal with 1,000 people a day.
Yeah.
I barely remember any of them, let alone people I've seen maybe once every 3 weeks. I don't believe I've ever actually seen either one of these gentlemen play a trivia match anywhere. That's the thing.
All right. So, hey, Riley Hughes and Noah Nordquist, if one of you guys or both of you guys can get a hold of me on Facebook Messenger and just let me know if you guys have played in the Classic or, you know, have any stats at all, that would be fantastic. But, yeah, these guys, the Cruise Control, very unknown. But, you know, 2 players that were really excited. And when they got a hold of me to get into the team tournament, they were extraordinarily excited. So I'm happy to see that. They are going to be, of course, facing off against Cult Classics. We all know what Cult Classics can do. They played excellent matches. And I mean, you know, Andrew James Barr is one half of the awesome head writing team at Full Metal Trivia. So I think this is going to be a good match. But without knowing what Cruise Control can do, I'm going to have to give her to Cult Classics in this return. So we're going to move down now into the 3rd ranked team, and the 3rd ranked team is the Iron Eagles, Nick Carley and Bill Carriola, and they will be facing. That's right. And they will be facing off against the 6th ranked team. It's another awesome one, guys. Oh, but did we not get... Oh, shit. That's right. I swore. No, you and I were talking about it.
There goes one of your repeats.
Yeah. Okay, so Mac and Cheese is the team of John Mariano and somebody. At one point, it was Garth. Somebody.
Harkness McMurray.
That's right. Thank you. And but we're not sure.
That's what I'm here for.
That's right. Jay's my name guy. But we're not sure if that team is still together. If that team isn't together, John Mariano was the first person to go on there and say, I want to be in this. I will find him a partner. Or if we cannot do that, we'll slot another team into that spot. But right now, it'll be Mac and Eagles. I got all the love for John Mariano and his knowledge. But Cult Class or Iron Eagles, I mean, it's Nick and Bill. I mean, both these guys are top-notch players, man.
they're hungry. They kind of got double dicked in their last match when they played Jurassic Sharks.
Yeah.
I love those guys though.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
love those guys though. They're funny and they know their stuff. You know, it's just sometimes the wheel just hates you some days.
It
I
does.
know how that goes.
It really does. And you know what? But these guys, you know, they're hungry. They want redemption. They know they're better than what their last result was.
Nico out here propositioning himself to anybody.
Well,
try hitting up John Mariano, Nico.
That's right.
And see where he is with Garth. And that's Garth somebody, by the way.
Garth somebody.
No, it's Garth somebody, as Aaron would so like to put it. But that's what I'm saying. Go ahead and hit John up, hit Garth up, see where they're at. And if Garth can't do it, maybe John will pick you up as a partner and you guys can move forward as Mac and Cheese or Mac and Geese, since that's what you're wearing in your picture. Boom.
That's great. The name man. That's right. It's the name man, Jay Burns here, guys. All right. So we're going to go to our last match of this grouping, and that is the number 4 seed, the Top Guns. And the Top Guns are Corey Quinto and Joshua Vasquez. Okay. They are going to be playing the 5th ranked team, which is the Average Joes. And that is Joe Harrison and Joe Farrelly. That's right. The Joes have, you know, they've gotten together and they picked Average Joes as their name. They will be facing the Top Guns. I think that the Top Guns have a real outside shot at knocking a ton of people off. They're just
Quinto's just one of those kids who's got that knowledge.
Just got
it. You know, he can as long as he tunes it in and he doesn't let any outside influence get to him or rattle his nerves a little bit. He has the possibility. Even with Josh Vasquez as his partner, I don't ever remember seeing Vasquez actually play a whole lot.
I've seen him play.
Yeah,
I've seen him play. The dude is sharp.
Quinto's one of those people who can carry a match. Yeah, and if his team member is as sharp as he is, and they can kind of cover each other's bases, because there aren't very many holes in Quinto's game. But if that's the case, this is one of those lower seeded teams that could surprise everybody and make it to, you know, the semifinals, the quarterfinals, the finals.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see these guys going up against Blockbuster Video or Cult Classics in the, in the finale of this particular bracket sense, you know, to go on forward. Average Joe's, Joe Harrison, great player. He's a great player. He knows his stuff. Joe Farrelly also knows his stuff. I just think they're overmatched in this particular matchup. But it all depends on which Corey comes to play. Is it the one that's distracted, or is he the one that's completely focused? If he's completely focused, good night. It's over. If he's distracted, that could be the hole that Average Joe's is looking for. So there you guys got it. We've got Blockbuster getting the video or the buy. Blockbuster Video, of course, getting the video. Make sure they return it and rewind. Cult Classics versus Cruise Control. Iron Eagles versus Mac and Cheese or Geese. And Iron Eagles versus the Top Guns. And that is the left side of the bracket, guys. So we do have a potential of, if everything goes exactly the way the rankings should, Red Herrings, Blockbuster Video, to move on to the championship round. But they're going to have to fight tooth and nail because there's some really hungry guys on this team, on this side of the bracket. Any further thoughts you got there, Jay, on this particular bracket, or do we just want to jump on to the right side?
This is ruthless. Everybody make sure that if you have a car, have somebody else start it for you. Watch out for your kneecaps. And as the Wu-Tang Clan said, protect your neck, because we will be coming for everybody.
There you go. Right
But
from
no,
the
let's move on to this other side of the bracket, baby.
right from Necronomicon's mouth, right there. All right, guys, this is the right side of the bracket, and this will be the top portion of that bracket. Getting the bye is the number one ranked team, and it is the two-headed dog. You all know him, you all love him. It is Jake Marangoni and Cameron Holzman. These guys played one of the most amazing team matches I have ever been a part of, ever witnessed, and that was between Red Herrings and the two-headed dog. This match was amazing, and if it was any other team other than Red Herrings, it would have been a slaughter. They get the bye. And there's nobody out there that can tell me they don't deserve it. They're just a fantastic team. Jake and Cameron know their stuff. You got, them as a team is one of those things where it's almost two generational things. Even though Jake isn't a ton older than Cameron, Jake has an older person's movie enjoyment. Like he watches a lot of those older type movies, those lesser known stuff, whereas Cameron, he's all about the newer stuff. He's all about the musicals, that kind of stuff, and they've been really really good together. They communicate well. So them getting the bye is an absolute certainty. Jay, what do you got to say about two-headed dog?
Look, I've seen them both play separately, and I've seen them both play on other teams. The fact is, I know both of them studied their asses off. There was a match that happened sometime. I believe it was for Snowball. It was a quadruple threat match. It was a fatal four-way, and I believe Jake chose Michael Haneke as a strength, and Cameron was sitting there matching him pace for pace with it because he studies. So the fact that you have two, for lack of a better term, nerds on a team really helps out, especially when they have a communication as well as these two do. And I know Cameron, being the first person I played in Full Metal, has done nothing but get better. Yeah. So it's always fun to see that, and they definitely earned that first round bye.
Yeah, they just play well off of each other. Okay. This might be the most stacked top four in this group that there is. Maybe with the exception of the bracket you're in the number one bracket. The number two team is the Oncoming Storm. That is Max Vincent and of course Big Papa himself, Jeff Varu, and they are going to be going up against the Frozen Avengers, and that is Erica Chia and Anthony Tisdale. Once again, brand new team getting in there. They got a lot of they have a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement. They really want to play. I feel bad that this is how it had to work out for them, that they're going to face Oncoming Storm. Oncoming Storm has been this close so many times to get into that championship level. And if Max and Jeff can get onto the same page and just work well together, they could they could definitely see themselves facing two-headed dog at the end of this bracket, and maybe even move forward beyond that. Frozen Avengers, I hope that you enjoy your time in the ring, but and I'm not discounting them 100%. Because we haven't seen much of them, if they come in there and just all start blowing people away, well, guess what? These guys could be the biggest upsetters of the entire bracket.
You're not wrong, and neither is featured presentation when he says this. Anthony Tisdale, no, not that one. Anthony Tisdale is the second in the Future Presentation Trivia League for overall points scored in matches.
Good.
So he is definitely a strong player. I haven't seen Erica actually play a trivia match. She's done some things, but she's not like really actually done trivia. She signed up for a couple of randoms. But yeah, she has as far as I know personally, and I could be just talking out of my neck here, zero trivia experience, and that right there could be the factor.
Wild card.
Either she comes in and she has this baller beginner's luck, or the inexperience is the thing that sinks this team.
Yeah.
And it right now it's a toss up, honestly.
Well, and
that to happen.
And thank everybody who's in the chat there, going ahead and letting us know if these players are playing in a different league. So that's fine. And Nico just checked with. Okay, so
Garth and
Garth.
So Mac and Cheese is still a team.
Mac and Cheese is still a team. Nico, we will keep our eyes out for any players that have lost a partner over the next little while, and let you know. Okay, so let's go into the third ranked team in this one. And this is a team I feel doesn't get enough credit because they're both known more as fandom or inner geekdom players. But Best in Show ranked number 3 in this bracket. They are Caleb Coho and Eli McKeag. And if anybody knows these players, one, Caleb has been outstanding in regular trivia recently. He's done a lot of hard work, a lot of studying. He's one of the most improved players ever. And he doesn't just...
It's the blue hair.
Exactly. He doesn't sit back on his haunches and just let the questions come to him. He goes out there and he watches the movies. He does that. Same with Eli. Eli is criminally underrated in regular trivia. These guys have a win. Like, this team has a win in Full Metal Teams. So, they're 1-0. I think that once again, they're going up against Team Waterloo. And Team Waterloo
is
Adeline Spence, and that's right. It is. Yep. No. Oh, did we check? Okay, so originally I had it down as
Abby
Spence
Friel, right?
and Abby Friel that were in this one.
You know what? I will hit Adelaide up right now so we can get
and see if that's still
continue.
Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Best in Show has has the potential to be a real upset, or to be a strong top of their bracket contender. Waterloo, like I said, I know Spence, from him playing in classics, so I just want to know who they have for a partner, and if that partner is a good fit, it could be a much closer match than even I'm giving it credit for. But right now, without them having a lot of experience together, whoever their teammate is, let's see what they can do in that.
It is Cameron Redshaw.
It is Cameron Redshaw.
I've got a confirmation from them and like 5 people in the chat blowing us up. It is Cameron Redshaw.
All right.
So thank you for telling me stuff I already knew. I just want to make sure that we are presenting correct information to everybody out here. That being said, Adelaide has moved on from being the cleaner to somebody who actually cleans up in matches. They dropped this whole persona of somebody who spilled juice on themselves and then needed help cleaning it up to somebody who can actually clean off their board after getting correct answer after correct answer. Cameron Redshaw has shown that he is great in other leagues. I believe that they have a team match coming up. So we might be able to see a little bit of their dynamic there, but it's Waterloo. Waterloo is where Napoleon got defeated. Maybe history is on their side with a name.
Yeah, I mean, either that or it's a water slide park in San Dimas. I'm just
where I hear high school football rules.
That's right. So that's this one's a toss up for me. I'd like to give Best in Show the nod, but this is a pretty substantial team they've got up against here. And then we move on to our last matchup, and this matchup, man, has me all kinds of excited. It's insert name here as the number 4 team in this bracket, and that is Jacoby Bancroft and Tony Hale. And they are going to be facing, as soon as I can find it, the Gotham Knights.
It doesn't matter. It's the most entertaining match of the entire.
It will be
of the entire bracket,
and that's what we have: Amaro Moses and Antonio Chavez as Team Gotham Knights. I think this match will either be super fast, because one team will just roll through one of the other teams, or it will be a 4-hour match because we can't shut anybody up.
You know what? I'm gonna take the over on the 4-hour match thing. I'm not gonna lie. Tony will bring a box of props like a British carrot top. Jacoby will steal everybody else's gimmick in the league and charm you into thinking that it's his own. That's the type of person that he is.
No.
And Amaru will not shut up about losing to me in Classic with the Flint Tropics and his love for Harry Potter.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't know who the 4th person was.
It's I just lost it. Antonio Chavez.
Antonio Chavez, cool dude.
And he's good.
Ain't gonna talk smack about him yet.
No, and he's got some skill. So I think I think it's definitely gonna be the Jesus Christ, Jacoby.
Fucking love you, Jacoby.
So good. I mean, literally. Like there's what the hell? All right. I'm glad you're watching, Jacoby. So you've got your match all set up, and it's a yikes for me too, dog. I don't know who says that ever.
Him. And, Randy Jackson stole it from him.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. 20 years ago when he was just a zygote. All right. So that is the top portion of the right side of the bracket down. So we are down to our last, the bottom bracket of the right-hand side. And
before you start that.
Yeah. What's he doing now?
This is a message to you from Jacoby.
Okay.
I don't know who says it. Me. I say it.
That's right. Apparently
Jacoby is the Simpsons of the fan league.
He is. It really is. All right. Last bracket, bottom right side. We have our bye, and you guys could have guessed it. And please, once again, spoiler alerts, because this is the winner of this is the loser of the team championship match that just released today. So go watch it. Doesn't matter who wins. It's a fantastic match. But the number 1 seed getting the bye in this portion of the bracket is the Jurassic Sharks by a toenail. There, you go. And they will be getting by. Sean Wasserberg and Kurt Kowalkowski they are absolutely boss level players. Kirk, he had his championship match, at Snowball with Jeremy. It didn't go his way. It's not nobody that watched that match decided that was Kirk's, talent level. He is a great player. And he's going to have many more championships, to go for in the future. And he finishes and he complements himself so well by adding Sean Wasserberg. And yeah, there goes Brian Michaels. Yes. Wild Stallions. Yeah. Till I find a team partner, you bastards. And you know what? They are just good. They play well off each other. They trust each other, which is really important. And you can see that. You can see that in the team match that they just played. They just get each other. They understand how to play. And that's why very quickly they become one of the best teams in the entire division. So they're getting the bye. Fight anybody who says they deserve to not get the bye. Jay, you of course are the manager for the Jurassic Sharks.
This is very true.
How do you what do you think about your team?
Look, I will say this, and I'm gonna go into a little bit of a spoiler here. We already dropped the spoiler warning. It's still there at the bottom of the screen. That title match, there was a lot that could have gone wrong. They could have beat themselves up over a whole lot of stuff. But the fact is that they came back from as large of a deficit as they did to still almost pull out the victory over the Wild Stallions was phenomenal. They played great. They took a round 2 category that they weren't that comfortable in, but that didn't matter to them. They fought through. They got a couple of really nice steals. The game was played as best as the game could be played when you're fighting off the back foot. When you're in the corner, when you're against the ropes, they came through, they pulled through and almost got the upset. It's one of my favorite matches. It's one of the matches that I'm actually going to go back and watch after I'm done doing what I'm doing for fantasy film fights here in a little bit. They were fantastic. We've got hell of a title match, came down to the end, Fear the Sharks, and Joseph Olivas in here as well. They gave us a hell of a run for our money. So when the two people here who normally just talk a whole bunch of smack are in the comment sections giving praise, it's probably something that you should look out for. Full Metal Jurassic Sharks, the most dangerous 1-in-1 team out there.
I 100% agree. I'll tell you, I was on the desk for that match, and I was already starting to do the math, and until this comeback, I had to keep adjusting. So they have to, if they don't get, and it just kept getting better and better and better, and you were just sitting there going, if Wild Stallions gets a bad category or bad question in the last one, this is a different story we're talking about right now. But you know what? Brian Michaels, Joseph Olivas, they brought it and played a fantastic game themselves to remain, our Full Metal team's champions. But Jurassic Sharks, they're no joke, guys. If you're playing these guys, you better come prepared. They're getting the bye in round number 1. So we move to our number 2 ranked team, and that is Notorious Chaos. That is Matt Queller and Russell Howell. So of course I love these guys because they're some of my closest friends in the leagues. They have the potential. And they're another one of those teams like Oncoming Storm that's just there. If they can push, and maybe get a couple of wins under their belts, they've got a legit shot, at being one of the people that can vie for this championship or vie for the championship title match. I think they need to spend a little bit more time on each question and not get flustered, because the minute they get flustered, it takes a bad turn for them. But to their credit, we haven't seen that very often.
You're not wrong. Queller's one of those people that just goes to show that being a question writer can help elevate your game. And Russell, I mean, it's Russell. Like, I don't hate the guy. I don't want to. He's a 49ers fan. That's about the only negative thing I can say about him.
Exactly. Well, and he's one of the nicest guy. And not only that, but he has a podcast. With Chance Ellison, current team champion of the Schmoedown, 2-time champion. Two-time. And. But he's got that wealth of knowledge to go into as well, and for study and stuff like that. So What is the high seed versus low seed just for the second round or the whole bracket? It's for the whole bracket.
It's for the whole bracket.
Yeah,
I think he's a little late to the party,
that's
but
okay.
it's a clarification question. So
Yeah. So it's for the whole tournament. So in round number 2, we'll have the number 1 seeds come back into play, and they will be placing the lowest rank of the remaining teams that came out of the first round. And then that'll go into the third round as well. So it works like that. We'll be posting this all up on Facebook, so we have like it all in writing what the brackets look like and everything like that.
I know Wasakrug is in the middle of actually creating a full bracket as well.
Oh,
So I'm probably going to steal that from him and
do that,
post
yeah.
it on the page as well, so everybody can get a full look at what it looks like, and then they
Awesome.
can make their own bracket predictions. And
Yeah.
then maybe we can do something fun with that later on down the line.
Definitely. We've done it before. We'll do it again. We'll make something exciting for the people who win in the brackets. So let's continue with it. So we do have Notorious Chaos and their opponents, and this is just hilarious again. They will be paying the team of That's What She Said. That is Peggy Gubbins and Kevin P.
Kevin Boss.
There we go. So, I know we've seen Kevin before, but maybe you can talk more about both of them as players.
Kevin has become a much better player than when I started hanging out with him, when I started talking to him. He's helped me become a better player. Peggy's a rare breed. She is one of those people who knows sports movies, which is like not something that a lot of people know.
Yeah.
And rom-coms. She's got those two down, and nobody can top her when it comes to that. And the fact is that they complement each other really well.
That's
Peggy
awesome.
will pick up on some of the things that Kevin's a little weaker on, and Kevin will deep dive movies.
Nice.
Kevin will, watch a movie and come up with 1,000 questions about it, and then get it on lock. So if it's 5 movies, it's we're talking an easy close to 1,000 questions here as a study. He is crazy.
Nice. Okay, well, you know what? That tells me right there, and Notorious Chaos better come with their best game, because we got a couple of new players here that really seem to know their stuff and have a strategy for playing one another. So, we'll see what that match is. I got to go with Notorious Chaos just because they've got the proven track record. But from what you said, I think it's going to be a tougher match than I think it's going to be. All right, so let's move to the number 3 ranked team, and that is the Riehards. That is the return of one Ryan Permison and his tag team partner, Ryan O'Regan. Team 80s has had experience with these guys. We beat them, but it was a good match. So I think that if they can coordinate, here's the trouble with them. Permison tends to overthink answers. So once the question is there, especially in round 2, you guys only got 15 seconds. So you better get the talking done real quick. And because it came in and bit you guys when you played us, that you ran out of time and you just had to answer. You can't let that happen in the tournament, or you'll be bounced in the first round. So if they can get onto a page with one another and talk and, use strategy, use numbers or different names for things, get that stuff down before their matches, they may have, a decent shot, because they will be playing the number 6th ranked team. Again, you guys coming up with these names has been fantastic for my laughter. They're playing the We're Your Density team. Yeah, straight out of
Brandon
straight
Dunlap
out of
and
that's right. Yeah, it's where is it? Why the hell can I find these guys?
I know it's Brandon. I know
Oh,
it's
there
Brandon. Big
it's
time.
Brandon. It's Brandon Dunlap and Adam Collins. So
it was Adam Collins.
Yeah, and that's they're untested in Full Metal. This is why they were ranked as low as they were. These two players are stupid good. Adam Collins has really started to show himself in the leagues as a player that is to be concerned with. And Brandon Dunlap has always, since he's been here, he's always been a competitor. And we like that. So this is one of those ones that I could see an upset happening. But the Riehards are the higher ranked competitors, so they will, if they can get their stuff together, then this could be a real barn burner of a match. And we come down to the final match of this bracket and the final match of the first round. The Great Scots, and that's Jonathan Peck and Nicholas Tuig. I love both these guys. Nick is probably one of the funnier guys in the league. He makes me
like face Tuig. I don't like heel Tuig.
I like face Tuig too. But he never ever, no matter what he's doing character-wise, never leaves me not smiling by the end of the match. Jonathan Peck.
No, not at all.
I have experience with Jonathan as well. He's still upset that I beat him in the movie trivia face-off, but he's a hell of a competitor. He knows his stuff. If he comes in focused and and plays his game, these guys, they could go all the way to the end. But they are going up against, and they are the 5th ranked team. And I know that I'm going to get some shout outs, for this, but they are Manning Franks and Malcolm Goldie Lay. They are gone with the win. They will be facing there. Listen, Malcolm, yeah, he's had some bad luck. Malcolm and Manning have had a ton of bad luck. If you go back and watch all of their matches, yeah, they're close. Like, they're close. And they falter. So this is their opportunity to go into a match, and it's going to be a challenge for them. But I think if Malcolm and Manning can, set aside some time to do a little bit of studying, just do some, some prep work with each other, just like with the Riehards, get together, talk about stuff, get some strategy, get together with a couple of other people maybe, and get some help studying, talk about the things that you need to talk about. And the one thing that we're not mentioning, that we haven't mentioned so far, and I'm going to right after this, is as soon as we're done with this matchup, if these guys can study, both teams, if both these teams can get on the same page with each other, this might be the closest match of the entire tournament. But we'll see. We'll see. It'll be an interesting match no matter what. Okay. So Jay, any thoughts on any of these matches that you might have missed talking about, or want to add a little bit of extra special sauce?
Yeah, We're Your Density, Adam Collins and Brandon Dunlap. Brandon has won a couple. I mean, he won enough to get into the tournament for Classic last year. It didn't work out for him, unfortunately. It didn't work out for a lot of people, unfortunately. No. They kind of ran into Caleb Little Boatman, Brian Michaels, Dustin Mason. Like, they ran into a lot of people, and it's a little bit difficult. But Adam Collins is one of those people who has, like, legitimately one of the highest scores for a single Classics game ever. So they know their stuff. If they can get together, if they can work, not even necessarily on strategy, but if they can get together and work on, like, chemistry, like, the team dynamic is where it is gonna be one of those really big things for this entire tournament. It depends on how well you know your partner, how fast you can talk to your partner, what you can talk to your partner about during the match, and whether or not you trust your partner's gut over your own. These are things that every team needs to work on. These are things that Necronomicon needs to work on. I think
every team.
Right off the bat, there are a couple who have it down to a T.
Yeah.
Jurassic Sharks, Cult Classic, Red Herrings, Two-Headed Dogs. You know, a lot of the teams with the buys. Blockbuster Video, a lot of the teams with the buys, you notice that they have a deep well of knowledge for the movies themselves, but they also listen to their gut, their intuition, and their partner, and they put all of these things together, and it creates this amazing dynamic between two people, and you can see how far that goes. Except for if you don't know who Jesse Owens is, we'll never let that go. I'm sorry.
That's right. No,
It's shaping up to be a hell of a tournament.
Yeah, you made some great points there. Absolutely, and I agree with you 100%. And
Adam Collins is in the Warzone title picture currently.
Yeah, just hold on.
Oh, you're good. So he's gone. So yeah, I'm gonna talk to you guys for a little bit. So these are the teams, these are the brackets. Sean Wasserkrug will be dropping the bracket to me, and I will be dropping that onto the page. Or if Sean wants to do that himself, he can just drop it directly there. And just for Brian from Dan the Man, they're rooting for Jurassic Sharks in this team title match, even though he was here and he knows how this ends. Yes. Okay. Warrior Density from Brian. Warrior Density wins that match easy. I don't think you're wrong. I think that Ryan and Ryan just need to get together and work on certain things.
I don't count them out.
Oh no, neither do I. But
I don't count them out.
Isn't just a retirement community; it's a trivia community as well.
Right.
So don't go counting the quote out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Tony had said Adam is in the Warzone title picture currently. So
like I said,
over in in Warzone, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, he's put it on. He's put everybody on notice with his play recently that I'm here and I'm looking for championships. Sorry about that little interruption, guys, but Jay took over masterfully again with the penultimate questions. So remember, it's pinned to the Full Metal page. Go take a look at those movies. You're not always going to get, there's too many movies on there to do it, but once the list drops, then you'll have your option to go study. This is the first round of the tournament. The questions aren't going to be, stupid hard. That's going to be saved for the championship, level matches. There you go. Brian knows. There's a T right in that, like the fourth letter is a T there, Brian. You spelt it wrong. I knew what you were trying to get to, but you spelt it wrong. I mean, come on. But Full Metal Trivia Teams champion can't get it right. That's just the best thing you guys all can do is just relax and go into this prepared, but have fun. This is exactly what we want to do. We're going to get this all straightened out. We're going to get it all up on the page. Jay is your man. I'm going to be here when Jay needs some help. Whenever he needs me, I'm going to be around. But Jay is going to take the lead on this, and he's going to. This is his division now, so he's going to do that. Whether or not he brings on anybody to help him, he'll let us know.
Speaking of that, I want to start getting these out as soon as possible. I want to start getting these recorded as soon as possible so we can get everything rolling and we're not stuck with this backlog of things that need to happen.
Yeah.
Have you talked to Jeff? How is him and the missus doing? I know they said that they were going to induce tomorrow had she not had the baby already.
Yeah.
What's that picture look like? And is he still going to be able to compete? Is a question that has actually been on my mind because of the new one.
Yes. So as far as we know right now, nothing has happened. They're still inducing tomorrow. When last I checked, they were in that that zone, just, waiting. It's an exciting time for him. I'm sure that his time will be a little bit more limited, with a almost 3-year-old now in Miles, and the new one coming along. But he's, like the rest of us, we're all sitting at home doing jack, right? So this is the perfect time to do this. Jeff has made no indication to me that he's not prepared to fully play. So so that right now, that's, if something happens, in the next couple of days, then we'll of course update the whole bracket. But as of right now, Oncoming Storm is the number 2 ranked team in that top half of the right bracket.
Awesome. Good. Glad to hear it. And to everybody shouting out in the chat that you would be willing to host matches, that is fantastic. I love that. And we will probably be reaching out to a lot of you and adding you to the hosts room that we have, the little group chat that we have. Because right now my days off are Wednesdays and Thursdays. I'm still not home 100% yet because results haven't come back in. And they don't care unless I have the results. That's the way that fucking America works, apparently. But yeah, so we will be reaching out to you guys. I would like to try to start getting maybe 2 of these recorded every week. I don't know what our editing situation looks like right now. I don't know.
It's not too bad, actually.
I know Jeff's one of our main editors. Okay, good.
It's not too bad.
I'm not trying to overwhelm them.
Yeah. Just to give you a bit of an update on the editing situation at Full Metal, Jeff Aru, of course, is our main editor. He does all the finishing stuff on that. But we've recently, last year with Snowball, Nick Carley has stepped up his game and come to us and said, I can help edit. Over half of those matches were rough edited by for Snowball were rough edited by Nick. He did a fantastic job. We couldn't be happier to have him in the fold. So with him doing rough edits and Jeff putting the final touches on stuff, we'll be good to be dropping a team match every week until the tournament's over. So in time, because we're going to get some matches booked. We're going to get some matches played. We're going to get them recorded. We're going to get them edited. We released a team match this week. We're going to be not releasing a team match next week, but hopefully Jay can get at least one match done now, for this, for the, later this week or next week, and then have enough time. And then we'll on not next week, but the week after be playing or be showing match number 1 of this tournament, and we're just going to keep going from there. So I do ask, and it can't possibly be at a better, worse time because most people are at home, so they've got the options, except for Jay, who might actually be sick, but they can't test him worth a crap. So our thoughts and hopes go with Jay so that he's healthy and not getting screwed over by wherever. But
cheers, bro. Drink to that.
That's right. So and anybody else who isn't feeling well, please stay home, stay away from people, wash your hands. I know there's a lot of young people out there that are just like, I'm invincible. You might be, but the 80-year-old that you just walked by, that dude isn't. So so just be careful, do what we're supposed to do, and let's have some fun playing trivia. We are, of course, always here. If you have any questions whatsoever, reach out to Jay, but don't blow him up. Just let him answer. If you if you have questions, you can always reach out to me as well. Jay and I will be in constant conversations throughout the entire tournament. And yeah, if you have any questions about anything, reach out to either one of us, as well as anybody else on the Full Metal Council. But other than that, Jay, do you have anything else you want to add to the end of this?
Yeah, wash your damn hands.
It's not hard. Turn the tap
No,
on.
it's really not.
Wash. That's right. Okay. So
It's really not.
on that note, we're going to say goodbye from Full Metal Trivia here at the teams division. Stay tuned soon for an update on the singles division. And other than that, Jay, good luck, buddy. I have every faith in you. This is going to be a fun time. Whenever you need me, you know I'm here.
I will say this. This doesn't work out. This doesn't work out for Con of the Dead. I will force you and Nico to be a team, and we will see how far that gets.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying. But yeah, from Full Metal, from Sandy, from myself, we are the hell out of here because we are still live, and I don't want Sandy to blow up like that and hurt people's feelings.
Ninja kick the damn rabbit.